Good morning, Year 3. How are you doing today? So today our subject is math. We are going to have a very interesting topic about times 10. So I'd like you to take your maths learner's book and notebook and be ready for our lesson today. It's quiz time. So I want you to do this quiz in your math notebook. Start with the date today and write your answers in your notebook, okay? So follow the instruction. Write the numbers in order from smallest to biggest with date last Thursday. Round to the nearest 10. You remember the rules of rounding? Good. And use less than or greater than to answer the question. You have 2 minutes to finish your work. Right. Times 10, core activity 21.2, multiplying by 10. Okay, our lesson objectives. By the end of this lesson, you'll be able to understand that every number that is multiplied by 10 becomes 10 times bigger. Okay, and also you'll be able to recite the 10 timetable, and then you'll be able to solve 10 times word problem. Our vocabulary words today are lots of, meaning number of objects in a group. Example, 5 lots of 10 means a group of 5 objects in 10 places. So is equal to 5 multiplied by 10. Multiplied by, to make a number greater. 10 times bigger, to increase the value of a number by 10. So please, can you write all of them in your math notebook? Then we can continue. Now pay attention and listen.
So when we multiply by 10, it's really important to know what is happening to the number that we're multiplying. And what we do when we multiply something times 10 is we make it 10 times bigger. So if we are multiplying 5 times 10, we are going to make that 5 10 times bigger than it is. Now when we make something 10 times bigger, we can imagine a place value chart like I've written here. So you've probably seen a place value chart before. This column, this stands for tens, and this stands for ones. So let's take a look at what's happening here. We have 5 ones. When we multiply that 5 by 10, we make it 10 times bigger. So the 5 is going to move one column to the right, or sorry, to the left, one column to the left. So this 5 is going to move over to the tens place. Now we have an empty space in the ones, so we fill that with a 0. And this gives us 50. Now let's try with another one. Let's try with 9 times 10. So this 9 is 9 ones, isn't it? Now when we when we multiply by 10, we move the 9 one place to the left because we're making it 10 times bigger. So the 9 is going to come over to the tens place. Now we have an empty space in the ones, so we'll fill that with a 0, and we get 90. Now sometimes you might have heard that when you multiply by 10, you can just add a 0. And you can when you're multiplying a whole number times 10. So that is something that you can use. However, I just want you to be careful because once you get into older grades and you start multiplying decimals times 10, this just add a 0 no longer works. And if you haven't learned decimals yet, don't worry too much about this part. But if you have, you might find this explanation a bit interesting. So if we take 1.5 times 10, can we just add a 0 and make it 1.50? No, we can't, because 1.50 and 1.5 are the exact same. They have the same value. They both have 1 1 and 5 tenths. So when we start multiplying decimals by 0, we find out that we have to shift everything one place to the left. So 1.5 actually becomes 15 because we're shifting that 5 over into the ones place and shifting the 1 to the tens place. So again, if you haven't learned decimals, don't worry about this, but I do just want you to understand why we want to think in terms of place value rather than a trick of just adding a 0. Okay, so let's go through the tens facts. So you can say them with me. 10 times 1 is 10. 10 times 2 is 20. 10 times 3 is 30. 10 times 4 is 40. 10 times 5 is 50. 10 times 6 is 60. 10 times 7 is 70. 10 times 8 is 80. 10 times 9 is 90. And our last one, 10 times 10 is 100. Now I want to give you just a quick challenge because I think you're up for a challenge. Let's draw our place value chart again. This time I'm going
Remember that any number we multiply by 10 becomes 10 times bigger. Okay? So let's look at this caterpillar. This is a brainstorm. Let's look at this caterpillar. What number did we multiply by 10 to get the numbers on the caterpillar? You tell me? Great job! Which number is 10 times bigger than 36? What are you going to do? Good! What is 10 lots of 21? Good. Can we check our answer now? Now let's check our answer. Was your answer correct? Great job! So, let's solve word problems. So I want you to read the question. Make sure you understand before you answer, okay? Slowly read, understand, and answer the question. And then after that, don't check the answers. After you're done with your work, then click to check your answers. Can you do that? Then after you finish, let's click and check the answers. Was your answer correct? Was your answer correct? Good job, year 3, good job. Okay, what is your learning outcomes? Can you read? Good. That's correct. Yes. I hope by now you can recite the 10 times table. Great job! Multiplied by 10. Now it's your time. Open your learner's book on page 90 and 91. Complete your work. Then after you finish, take the photo and send to me.